Hello, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, and I am here in the Los Padres National Forest in the Santa Ynez Mountains in Santa Barbara County, right underneath the La Cumbre peak. And today, I want to present a spotlight on trees. Today's spotlight is on a tree I've encountered for the very first time today. Today's spotlight is on this beautiful tree right here. This is Tanoak. Another name, tanbark oak. So Tanoak, this is the Tanoak tree right here. This is Notholithocarpus densiflorus, variety densiflorus. It is anywhere from a medium-sized shrub to a quite large tree that can get over 100 feet tall in favorable conditions. And it is a member of the Beech family, the Fagaceae. Now, Tanoak is not what the name implies. It is not a true oak. Its evolutionary lineage kind of lies between oaks and chestnuts, which are other members of the Fagaceae. So there are characteristics of these trees that belong to what you would expect with an oak tree and what you would expect to see with a chestnut or a chinquapin in the genus Castanea or Chrysolipus. So we're going to start off here with the foliage of the Tanoak. The Tanoak has medium-length leaves with a very nice pubescence on the top, and even a finer pubescence, or a thicker pubescence underside. So the leaves are kind of olive green, and like the oaks, they are alternately arranged along the stem, and the leaves are a little bit closer to what you'd expect to see on a chestnut or a chinquapin. And chestnuts and chinquapins are fairly closely allied in the Beech family as well. So with the Tanoak, this is pretty close to where the range starts here in California. They do start over in Ventura County, western Ventura County, and then they go up. They do have stands in the central and northern Sierra, I believe, and also more prolifically along the coast ranges up the California coast, and any other places I will list in the details of the video. But again, so this tree is kind of intermediate between what an oak is and what a chestnut or chinquapin is. So we're looking at the leaves. The leaves are evergreen, so the tree's in leaf all year. So this tree does not go deciduous in autumn. It stays green all year long. And again, we're looking at the leaves. The leaves are slightly wavy edged, very slightly wavy edged sometimes. Sometimes cut down just a little bit, as you can see here, very slightly revolute. And often, not always, often have little serrations or little sawtooth edges on them. And so now we're going to talk about the flowers of the Tanoak. The flowers of the Tanoak, the characteristics of the flowers of Tanoak are closer to what you would expect with chestnuts and chinquapins. Now, the flowers, like oaks and chestnuts, are in catkins. They are in these long clusters. I'm going to try to see if I can swing this branch over here. Bear with me for a minute. I found some old catkins on here. So they come in these elongated catkins, and then after the catkins get the female catkins get the female flowers get pollinated, then the fruit that comes out is pretty close to what a typical acorn would look like, giving it the characteristics of its relationship to oaks. Now, the Tanoak acorn has a very different type of cup. I'm going to go over here and try to find a larger old acorn cup. These trees Let's see if I can find a good acorn cup to show you guys. I saw some decent sized acorn cups around here. Acorn cups are quite different looking. Bear with me. This is kind of what the acorn looks like on Notholithocarpus densiflorus, variety densiflorus. But the acorn cup itself is very different. This is the acorn cup. See, it's all bristly, but like an oak, it's an acorn. So let's see if I can formulate what it looks like. It's kind of flattened on the bottom where it's in the flat cup. So this is what it would look like if you saw a ripe one on the tree. Kind of like that. So genus Notholithocarpus, to my knowledge, this is the only species of Notholithocarpus here in North America. I believe you have to go to Asia to find all the other species of Notholithocarpus. So this one might be a relic, maybe when the lands were connected together, way back in the days. But as you see here, a lot of these are kind of small, shrubby trees. A lot of the ones you can expect here in the southern, drier portions of his range, like here in the Santa Ynez Mountains, are going to be smaller trees. So let's go look at the bark of the Notholithocarpus densiflorus, variety densiflorus. It's got that typical Beech Family smoothness on a lot of the upper branches. So you can see here, kind of gray, some slight furrow streaks, and with age, the bark becomes a little rougher and more furrowed, as you can kind of see here towards the center of the screen. Where this tree grows in wetter climates along the coast ranges here in California, these trees can get significantly larger. Like I said, these are more of what you'd expect along the drier portions of its range, and sometimes they don't get up to more than the size of a shrub. And I believe the ones in the Sierras might be more shrub-like. I've never, this, like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen this plant. But the ones in the coast ranges can get very, very large. So Notholithocarpus densiflorus, variety densiflorus, I have waited years to come and see this grand species of beautiful tree that again kind of runs the line between chestnut and oak. The beautiful Tanoak, growing here in the mixed woodland of canyon live oak, coulter pine, and knobcone pine up here in the beautiful Santa Ynez Mountains here in Santa Barbara County. So if you ever drive up to the Santa Ynez Mountains along, this is El Camino Cielo Road, if you get up on Gibraltar Road, which starts as El Cielito in Santa Barbara, you come up the mountain, then it turns into Gibraltar Road, you follow that, and then you're going to get to an intersection at the ridge. You're going to bear left, and it'll come up here to near La Cumbre Peak, up here in the Santa Ynez Mountains. First ever encounter with this awesome tree. I'm hoping this is the first of many, because this is a beautiful tree, absolutely beautiful tree, and I'm glad to have been able to present this spotlight on Tanoak, Notholithocarpus densiflorus, variety densiflorus. This will about do it for my spotlight on trees today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it inspires you to come up here to the Santa Ynez Mountains and see this beautiful scene. But before I go, one thing I didn't really mention too much was the habitat. See, when you're driving up here from Santa Barbara, you're not going to see these until you get to the ridge line, on the backside of the ridge line. These prefer more mesic, in other words moist, north-facing slopes. See what we have here, this is the north-facing slope. It's probably about 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now. We have a forest here of Let's see. I see California bay laurel and Bellaria californica, canyon live oak, Quercus chrysolipus, and I see several big cone Douglas firs, Pseudotsuga macrocarpa. So these ones tend to like the moister sides of the mountains, especially here in the drier portion of their range. So up here in the Santa Ynez Mountains, once you get to the crest, it's going to take a few minutes, but once you swing around to the backside on the road, that's when you're going to start seeing these almost right away. So there you have it. Notholithocarpus densiflorus, variety densiflorus, the Tanoak, live from Southern California, Santa Barbara County. Thanks for watching my spotlight, and I'll see you on the next episode.